Welcome to another episode of the All Pop No Culture podcast. I'm your host, Kevin, but this week I actually hand the reins over to Pete. Pete will be running, well, first we'll talk about the D&D movie that just came out, Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves. But then Pete takes us into a D&D campaign, just a short one to give everybody a taste of what spawned this actual movie and how the game itself is played. So it's a lot of fun. I think we've got a bigger crew than usual. It's myself, Pete, Andrew, Kim, and Jen. So we've got 5 of us for the first time in a long time. And obviously we've never played D&D before, so it's a lot of fun, and we hope you enjoy it. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to share with everybody you know. And we hope you enjoy the episode.
Okay. You guys want to talk about the movie first?
Yes.
All right. Well, I fucking loved it.
Yeah. I mean,
I thought it was great.
Yeah, I'm in the exact same boat. I went with my 3 kids, and we loved it.
There is so much inside baseball in the movie that I know none of you got, but you still enjoyed the movie, and that to me is the testament to the movie. So like, the movie takes place, so right now we're on Dungeons & Dragons, like the game is on what they call 5th edition, and what they decided to do is they focus on, all the source materials focus on kind of one world, and it's called the Forgotten Realms. Okay? All those places in the movie are places in the game. When it starts off, when you're in that snowy area, that's the spine of the world in Icewind Dale. That's like big waste. That's where, like, in the novels, in the Dungeons & Dragons novels, that's where some of the, like, people's favorite characters and novel series are from. Neverwinter is the biggest city on the Sword Coast. Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate, yeah.
That was also computer games that they made. But that's another city.
For a long time, long time ago.
Yeah, like Tribord, they kept talking about. When he kept saying that, oh, he's in Tribord. Kim, that's where, when we were playing during COVID, that whole Tribord Trail, that's where we were.
Where is that in the movie?
They just kept mentioning it.
Oh, okay.
Here and there. Yeah, like it wasn't. There's just, okay, like the Red Wizards of Thay. They're like one of the biggest bad guys in the whole Forgotten Realms thing. That, like, it's like Sis Tam, that lich that they were talking about, the Red Wizard who did the whole thing with the horn initially. That guy's a lich. He's an undead wizard. He's another, like, big, like, in-game character that's, like, part of different campaigns. There's just so much fun stuff that they did. Like, the Displacer Beast was very interesting that they used. That was like that panther with the tentacles that they had. So that's another one of those, like, Dungeons and Dragons only characters, right? The big cube of Jello, that's a gelatinous
cube.
Those are like famous little things. So there's a lot of inside baseball stuff that, like, really made it fun for the Dungeons and Dragons heads. But like I said, at the same time, you didn't have to know any of that to enjoy this movie at all. And I think that's where they really hit a home run with this one, because the first Dungeons and Dragons movie that they made back in, like, the early 90s was just a piece of crap for not doing everything that this movie did. It was just like, it was basically a sword and sorcery movie that had nothing to do with actual Dungeons and Dragons, and it was just a horrible script. Like, it was just bad. There was nothing that fans would grab onto and like, and then there was nothing enjoyable about it for anybody who then wasn't a Dungeons and Dragons person. I just loved it. I loved, like, Andrew, you mentioned that in there, the little thing with the, one of the other groups that was in the labyrinth with them fighting were the characters from the 80s Saturday morning cartoon.
Well, that was with the horn guy. I'm like, why does this look familiar?
Yes.
No, I was really happy with that. And I think that in lesser hands, they would have killed them off and thought it was funny. And I would have been, like, so offended, because that's some shit that, like, pretty much any other studio would do besides Marvel.
Yeah.
They just kill them off, like, oh, look how funny this is, you know. But no, they respect the fucking source material. It's like, no, we could actually technically. I think they looked kind of generic. That was my only complaint. But beyond the generic lookingness of that group, the fact that the group still survived, they got inside the block,
Exactly.
and like, the kid, like, actually, he felt like real. So anyway, I loved that shit. I felt respected.
See, I thought they made them feel generic just so they were very easily identifiable. I thought that's exactly why they did it. They made them look like exactly like they did in the cartoon, just so you could look at them and go, oh, that's exactly what that is. Whereas if you had kind of dressed it up a little bit and you kind of had to look at it and be like, oh my God, is that, which, yes, that would have been fun, but it also would have been like, again, just a little more inside baseball that I don't think enough people would have caught on to. But there were people that I could tell, like in the theater when I saw it today, who were like super young, who knew what they were.
That's amazing.
Just right from that.
makes
That
me
was
feel
really
good that
cool.
they knew. Yeah, that's cool.
Everybody else thoughts? Like I'm ready for a sequel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, it should definitely get one. I thought Chris Pine, man, I thought he stole the show. I thought he was
Oh, he was
great.
great. Huh.
I love when he has the opportunity to be Kirk. Like, really,
Yeah.
like if you think about the Star Trek films, like he's witty. He's a witty guy. And when he was in like Wonder Woman and stuff, that kind of dialed that back a little bit or took that away. In the movie that he did with what's her face, Olivia Wilde, he was, he was serious and he was the bad guy, right? So he didn't have to be funny in that, but I
Lori
think he
Darling.
really
Oh, yeah.
excels. I think he really excels in these roles where he gets to be witty because he's a funny guy. He's not a comedian, right? Like he's just sharp and witty.
He's got good comic timing.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I think he's
dead
a
on.
swashbuckling, funny dude, and I think that's what you got from the Kirk in 2009. That's what you got in
Yes.
this one, and then because I'm going to go there. All right, so basically, I loved how both him and you know me, I'm doing the name thing again, but the guy Hugh, what's his name?
Hugh
Hugh
Grant.
Grant.
Hugh Grant, but probably both the NPPs, both con men. But basically, as far as their characters, they're both kind of tricky and like they're slick. But Hugh Grant's character is more of like an evil one, like a bad guy. And I want to talk about alignments too, because I feel like when you look at Bridgington Man, whatever, is that like lawful good? Because I'm sure alignment.
That's lawful good.
Yeah. So it's like I feel
Yeah.
like I was trying to pick out which alignment each character was, right? The cleric or the druid, total INFJ. And basically they are very kind of like inward, mysterious, but do not piss them off because they'll turn into an owl bear and fuck you up. So it's like she was very big about like when she was ready to peace out because she's all about like just you better be true. I hate fake people, and that's what she was about.
CG, she's chaotic good. If that's what if I was classing her or if I was giving her alignment, that would definitely be a chaotic good to me.
And that sequence where she goes in as like the insect, and then she's like running out of the castle as a mouse, and then like all that whole sequence was amazing. I told. Anyways, I'll. Okay, fine. Sorcerer INFP, classic, totally like soft and sweet and cuddly, but also not very confident. So that shit was kind of whack. But then he finally got some balls and like did that thing. And then the barbarian ESCJ total, like totally loyal, very kind of literal, and I love the banter and like the disconnect between her and Bridgerton, whatever his name is, but like because it's like
I don't deal in colloquialisms.
Yes, like he was just so like straight arrow and just probably INTJ. Anyway, so now just tell me about the alignments too, because I think the characters were super, super rich. And yes, as soon as the movie was done, I was like, I want a sequel. These are all characters I want to see again. Everyone.
So alignments they're in the game. It's one of those things that gets used if you want to. It's a very, very optional thing, and really it kind of deals with how characters of other alignments will kind of naturally react to your character. In another campaign setting called Planescape, your alignments are incredibly important because it deals with kind of what faction in the planes you kind of end up with. For most people's purposes that I've seen playing 5e and like when I've played, we haven't really worried about alignments too much. It's alignments are also can be used depending on like the dungeon master. If you want to like, okay, so you're a paladin and you're lawful good, right? But you go and you do something that's not quite good. You've now changed your alignment and how people are going to react to you. So say as a lawful good character, you go and kill an enemy that you could have maybe pacified or something else. They're going to change that lawful good to chaotic good. It's a lot. Alignments are fun to play with in some situations, but it's also like you have to get deep into the role play if you're going to do alignments. Cool. But yeah, I mean that you could go and look at the Myers-Briggs stuff and call those out with the different alignments very, very easily with what they are, like, so I would say like Hugh Grant's character was kind of, I would say, lawful evil.
Yeah,
actually,
absolutely.
He's a bad guy, but he does have a code that he lives by, at least a personal code. Like say for instance, like the Red Wizard of Thay, she's more of a chaotic evil character where you just don't really care. You'll just watch the world burn. Like that's your whole thing. That's like where chaotic evil comes in. Barbarians, like you were talking about, like Holga, she's definitely chaotic good. It's tough. One of the big ones that a lot of people like to play because it gives you a lot of latitude is CN, chaotic neutral, which is almost a true neutral. The problem with that though is that if you're really playing in alignment, you really don't then get to make an action in a lot of ways, because any action is then going to push you onto one side or the other and one direction. So I don't, like tonight, alignment's not going to mean anything for us.
We
tonight,
totally don't have to. And I want to make sure we give Kim and Jen a chance.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah, especially the people like the completely non D&D people. Like Jen, you said you loved it in the group text. I'm just like,
I loved it. I know nothing about excuse me, Dungeons and Dragons, but I loved it. I thought it was funny and adventurous, and there was so many parts I loved, but I thought it was so damn funny when Holga went back to meet her halfling, or is that what they're called, a halfling?
Yes.
Oh
Bradley
my God.
Cooper.
That was hilarious with Bradley Cooper. That was Bradley Cooper, right?
Yeah. So
yeah.
I read an article about that actually this morning. I let myself have one spoiler for this movie. That was actually filmed afterwards.
Oh.
They had already filmed that with a different actor. But the guy, Sam, one of the directors, knew Bradley Cooper from a TV show they had done, and they had always talked about some of this stuff. And so they just got in touch with each other, and Bradley Cooper came in and did it. It was a one-day shoot, and all they did was shoot his sides of it.
That poor other actor.
Yeah, it is.
So it was funny because he mentions that in the article where he says, I'm not going to say who the other actor was because he was great. He said, but we had this opportunity, and when you get an opportunity for like a Bradley Cooper to do something like this, to make a phenomenal little cameo, and it was absolutely so great, because they could have made it like really, Billy Crystal for The Princess Bride, put him in some makeup or done something else and made it kind of hokey, and they didn't. You love it. It's such a fun little moment of like,
well, and it sets up that thing at the end when she sees the other one, and she's like,
hilarious. I loved that part.
A little lip bite.
Bites her lip. That was so funny.
She's like giving him the eye, like, yeah. What's
that was
up?
Great. The only thing that I question that they did but that at the same time I also felt really, really worked in the context of the movie, and actually as if this was, say, a campaign or a game that someone was playing, that it worked really, because it really does have a feel of being at someone's table and rolling through games and role playing with each other and just, different characters. So like Chris Pine, that character, he's a harper, which is, it's like a secret society. They run around like doing good deeds. He's really, they have on D&D Beyond, they do have like all of those characters as NPCs if you wanted to use them in your game. And I don't think they have him listed as a bard, but he is very much a bard, which is kind of a half caster who's a jack of all trades. Your big thing is performance and that, but you're also a little bit of a thief. You might have a little bit of, you've got some magic that you can use, but you're also pretty good with a sword. And that's really kind of how he was. And everybody, it was fun because everybody in the movie kind of played their character kind of as it would be. Like, Doric as the eco warrior fucking druid was great. That was so fun. And Andrew, tell me at the end when she's the owlbear and she's smashing
The Hulk and
what's her
Loki.
fucking ground, it was straight like almost as
for sure.
satisfying. Like you're watching, like she's doing it and I'm like, almost as good.
Yeah.
Like not quite as good, but almost as good.
I have a question about her.
Yeah.
Because I love Sophia Lillis, but so you're saying that, they were kind of acting how they were supposed to. I
Yeah.
felt like when she was in her human form, she was so kind of like subdued and like a little more flat. And then I was like, I don't know. I struggle with that a little bit. And I was talking to Sydney about it and she was mad that I was even questioning anything with her because that's her girl. But is that because was like her role, like as a Doric, like they're a little more just kind of like not more subdued? I just felt she was kind of more, quiet and not a lot of energy or whatnot.
I took that a little more as the actor making a character choice and also a little bit based on her race, where she was a tiefling, and tieflings are like half demon, half human. They're like demon touched humans, if you will. That's why she had the little horns.
Mm-hmm.
And she makes that comment like when we were first kind of meeting her, when they're first interacting, how she doesn't trust humans because of their kind of thing. I think they purposely made her stoic like that just as a character.
Okay.
It really didn't have anything to do with like druids. This is what's fun. So druids are like the protectors of the forest and super in tune with nature. Whenever I've played a druid, I've always liked playing a druid as almost like a Cheech and Chong stoner kind of character. Like they're like, I always like the idea is like druids as hippies. I always thought that was kind of fun. And it was interesting to see one, to see them play her like that, because that to me would be someone who like that attitude, like you said, that almost stoicism would be more of like your kind of basic fighter, if you will, or or something like that. So I think that was just a choice for the character that they made for the movie. But yeah, God, it was just so much fun.
Yeah, it was good.
I was thinking it's a really good time for this movie to come out, for mass audiences, because you don't have to now at all have ever had any kind of experience with D&D. Like there's so many things that fit right into this world that we're like, oh, we've seen this in Game of Thrones and we've seen this in Lord of the Rings. Like we understand. Okay, like the suspension of disbelief is, we're right there, and it's you've almost kind of seen each of those scenes before. Like it just seems familiar. Like it's we haven't seen Owlbear or whatever, but they're just from everything out there in culture that we've seen and watched. It's like, yeah, that's the thing. Oh yeah, okay, the bridge is gone. They're gonna find another one.
Well, I was reading the one negative review that it got on Rotten Tomatoes. Like if you click on the reviews, one of the things that the guy said was he didn't believe how all these people were just walking around accepting all this, fantastical shit that's going on around them. And that was kind of one of those things like, okay, you don't get the point of this movie in the first place then.
Yeah.
Because it is a world full of magic and wonder already. It is everyday common shit. Like the whole thing with the tribunal at the beginning when they're putting him on trial. That's a human, a dragonborn, another human, and an Aarakocra. It's a part dragon humanoid and a birdman. It's like, if this exists and it knows about it, why would any of the other shit be weird?
Yeah.
Right.
It's just it's just part of the world.
Yeah.
Or when Zank makes his entrance and saves that I don't know, I think it was the cat mom,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
pulls a cat baby.
Yeah,
out
if
of
you
his
see a
dish,
human cat walking
and then
around,
everyone's like, "Yay!"
Yeah.
So that's that. Okay, now
Yeah, it's
going
like-
back to the Game of Thrones thing really quick though, and then as a segue is I loved how they went back in time to talk about the battle, for the helmet, whatever. And you see, we were doing great till the dragon showed up. I'm like, that's some Game of Thrones shit, because if you have a dragon, you got it, right? So that's why they're losing, because the dragon's just going there fucking people up, which is my segue into, I thought the fight choreography in this film was remarkable, particularly Holga. Like, Holga's fight scenes were so dope and so believable, and just I was like, man, I'm loving every fight scene in this movie. Like, it's just, I'm actually at the edge of my seat. It doesn't feel too easy, and it doesn't feel and again, Zank, when he was fighting with the sword with that guy in the dungeon, and the big dragon, when have you seen a big dragon ever, in life? And that dragon was just
Pretty portly.
hilarious. Wait, what's
That
that?
was
Portly.
funny.
The portly dragon.
Portly
and,
dragon.
Yeah, I mean, there was things that I just haven't seen, so that's what I look for in movies. I look for, show me, okay, yes, these are elements that we've seen in other places that makes us believe it more, but you're still showing me something new, and that's what I thought this film brought to the table, and that's why I want more of it. It felt like a phase 1 MCU film. And remember, I'll admit it, I was not optimistic about this film. Every trailer I thought was, oh, it's too silly, whatever. And then, one thing I gotta say as well, and then I'll be quiet for a second, is that Michelle Rodriguez, I haven't seen all her movies, but there is a trope called Vasquez must die. And basically what it means is every time you've got the strong, tough woman, she's fucking dead. And Vasquez from not Terminator, Aliens started it. So apparently Michelle Rodriguez, if you look at her career, apparently she dies in every movie. So the fact that can we spoil on this?
Oh yeah, no, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So the fact that I was like, here we go again. So at least, but then I'm not gonna lie, I'm just gonna lie. When she's like, you wasted it on me, I'm not gonna lie, a little bit of teary came out, because I'm
exactly. That's where I was crying.
And I was just like, see, that's why I love this movie, because it's not just fun and games and jokes. There was heart to it. I mean, we
for sure
talked about the father-daughter type shit. So it was just yeah, they nailed it.
By the end of this movie, you actually cared about these characters enough that was actually a little bit of a tear-jerky moment.
So it wasn't just me. Yes.
Oh no,
I totally felt it.
Yeah, and that is a testament to her and Chris Pine throughout the movie, and their interaction and the way they built that relationship.
Their chemistry was awesome, especially for it to be not a sexual relationship, or not
a brother and sister
was
kind
amazing.
of thing. Yeah.
The one thing I'll say too is kind of what Kim said is how it came at the right time. I think we're so worn out on the superhero film that this is such a nice change of pace, even though even though formulaically speaking, it's just a superhero film. They're all, I mean, this was our Avengers just coming together and doing some shit, but it was different, and it was a different type of film. And it was a good time for it. I think if this had come out during Marvel's phase 1, people would have been like, just give us more Marvel, right? But right now people are burnt out on the superhero thing, so it's a good time.
It is. It came out at the right time. Dungeons and Dragons is in the zeitgeist enough that enough people have at least heard about it, and not in the context of it's going to make your children worship Satan, they shouldn't play kind of thing. That I will say this: Hasbro sold a shit ton of books this weekend.
Good for them.
I'd be willing to guarantee it. This movie very, very easily. So what COVID and kind of like Settlers of Catan and the board game kind of explosion that happened kind of breathed new life back into Dungeons and Dragons. This movie pushed even further because now you're going to see people who like would never have still even thought about playing Dungeons and Dragons, even though it's kind of it's not going to be cool. It's never going to be cool. Like it's just not. But it's a little more into the mainstream, and I think that's just
especially with Stranger Things too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's what I was gonna say. Stranger Things,
Yeah, definitely.
That's why my daughter's all obsessed with this, because the Stranger Things. So kind of brought it back for this generation.
Yeah, I I really have nothing else left to say about this. I was just so happy because you know, like as a Dungeons and Dragons fan, you hear they're making a movie and you instantly get nervous because every other time they've tried to do something, it's just been a horrible fucking failure. And so and then they announce the cast and you're kind of like, okay,
none of these people.
yeah, I'm like Chris Pine, Rajay. Oh, that was the other thing. Well, no, there were two things. One, the way they used him in the movie, even though they kind of push him as very much like a much bigger part of the movie than he was, I think they used him perfectly. He's almost like an NPC that your players would meet in the middle of this campaign, and he dips in for a minute, helps you accomplish a task, and then bounces out and sends your party on the way. And I thought that was great. The only thing that I think, if as a Dungeons and Dragons person, the only real, and it's a real nitpicky kind of thing. I mean, I'm sure there are people out there that will pick it apart and go, well, it wasn't like this. And then the only thing that I think, which was a kind of a big thing that people might complain about, the dragon, although incredibly funny, in Dungeons and Dragons, dragons aren't like mindless eating destruction machines. They are Smog from Lord of the Rings. Like each of the different colored dragons has their own personality. There are good dragons and there are evil dragons. Red dragons are generally evil dragons, but they command hordes of these little creatures called kobolds. They are scheming and very underhanded and full of deception. So to have him just kind of like mindlessly attacking them, if you will, without any sort of interaction, I could see how some people, that would be a thing for them, where they would go, well, a dragon, and you're in there, even if it was a fat dragon, it wouldn't let you do that. And shut up. It was fun. It was fun. It was just a fun moment. Like, it really was. And that when he rears up and he is really a portly fat ass dragon, that was so funny.
Never seen that in my life.
Yeah.
Oh, that was great.
Was original.
And he really, when he does the little produce flame cantrip with his finger as it's out like that there's just, like I said, as a D&D player, fan, and DM, there's so much in this movie to love that you latch onto and go, oh, that was done great. But as just a person who's not familiar with this, but it just wants to go see a good popcorn movie, this is a great high fantasy movie. Like in a lot of ways where it's gonna draw its comparisons, of course, in time to Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones and things like that. But tonally, this movie is completely different.
Correct.
And it was supposed to be.
Those shows.
It's its own thing.
It's its own thing. Like, and that is the thing that I love about, like, when you're watching, Lord of the Rings for the first time, if you don't have a background in some of that with what you're watching, there's shit that they mentioned that you're just like, who was Glorfindel the Great on the third side of Elrond's? You're just like, what? You know, like there's like I love those movies, but when we're in the Fellowship and uh Frodo is in the the garden and they're sleeping, and what's her bucket, Lady Illustrae, comes out, the not Helen Mirren,
Kate Blanchett.
Kate Blanchett. Like there's in time, like it's like a 10-minute scene where she just goes on and it's really cool prose, but it's talking about some shit that only like hardcore Lord of the Rings fans would really care about. You know, like if you've read the friggin' Silmarillion, then you're like, oh yeah, they're referring to what happened during the Third Age under Titus's rule and the thing. So that it gets a little like verbose there. And this movie didn't do that. It just said, here's a bunch of shit for all you like hardcore fans to make you happy, but we're also gonna make a good movie. And I know I keep repeating myself with that, but it was such a good way to do it, because it's the same thing that Marvel was able to do.
Correct.
Whereas there's enough inside baseball that if you're really, really a deep Marvel fan, there's all these fun little Easter eggs and connections back to the comics.
Yep.
And if you could give a shit about Marvel comics and you're just into these movies, you can go and enjoy them as superhero movies and you love them, and none of the other little shit matters at all.
It's its own thing. It has an identity. And it doesn't shit on anything else, which is
Nope.
people. So that's what I loved. It didn't shit on the past. It had something for everyone, which is, it looks easy to do, but it's not. Because if it was, everyone would be doing it. But like, no one's doing it. They're making fucking Morbius. So yeah.
Should we play?
Yes, we should.
Oh, you guys want to play? All right.
So we're going on a campaign. We're going on a quest of some kind.
Going on a trip.
So you're sitting in the local tavern of the town of Glorfindel, and you've all agreed to answer an ad for work. Someone's offering 50 gold pieces a person to go on a small quest for them to retrieve an item, if you will. A small satyr walks up to your group while they're sitting at the table and introduces himself, and he says, hello, my name is Marvin. I represent a concerned group who is trying to retrieve the heart of the tyrant. It's a jewel that was lost to the ages. Okay, so perfect. We'll take a quick check. So right now, here's where it gets interesting. Okay, so you can ask to do a check if you want, of a different kind. So like, say Jen, you said, hey, can I do a history check, right? And in the middle of your character sheet, there's this tall list of all those skills. They're all in alphabetical order: acrobatics, animal handling, arcana, deception. And so if you click on the plus, or even if it's the 0 right there under history, and tell me what comes up.
10.
Okay. So a 10. So now, as the DM, what I've done is there's some sort of background information that I've given a difficulty challenge to, that maybe you know or you don't know based on a certain number. The way I like to play is almost like a sliding scale, if you will. So say I put the difficulty challenge on understanding something about this history at a 10. So you'd have to roll higher than a 10 to get any information on it at all that you can recall from, your vast knowledge of the history of the realms. Well, if you rolled, say, like a 16, you know a little bit more than just that. And if you rolled like a 20, which is what they call a crit, or, basically the highest natural roll you can get on a D20, you're going to get a ton of information. So for what you rolled, the heart of the tyrant, you have heard tales and you remember hearing stories, was a jewel that 2 warriors who, they were elven blade singers, who developed what they called the Code of Konami, and it was a way that they lived their life. And this jewel was the spellcasting focus for a lich who was trying to destroy the world, and they defeated this lich and found this jewel and hid it away somewhere, and no one knows where it is. Marvin kind of sees, well, let's back up a quick step. What do each of your characters look like? We'll start with Jen, only because she's in the top left on my screen. So
what do I look like? So I had it that I had red hair, green eyes. I was about 5'3", female, human.
Pronouns she, her.
I think that was about it.
What are you wearing?
Oh, what am I wearing?
Yeah, like how is Lazura dressed?
She has on some sort of cloak.
I like that. Like what kind of what color is a cloak? Is it like a white kind of cloak? Is it kind of gray? You're a priest of the life domain. You probably follow a god like Cyric or Hathor.
Yeah, I would say lighter tone, maybe some details of some sort of like weaving on it, or
I like that. So fancy cloak, red hair, green eyes. Looking good. Kevin, what is Mofax Skykiller Vuma? Because I don't see your whole name there.
Hey, if you can't say it, man, don't say it. It's disrespectful. I'm just gonna steal my character's picture a little bit, but I'm a big mamma jamma. I'm a big boy, bald headed, a little scary, some little face war paint kind of shit going on. Dressed in my nice heavy armor, ready to go out there and mess some stuff up.
Nice. And Dalkin, our Aasimar sorcerer.
So I was trying to like see, because I want to be accurate to whatever I picked, but basically from what I remember, my skin is bronze. My eyes are silver, my hair is silver. And I think I definitely have a cape of some kind. It'll be silver. And then
no capes.
no capes. Cape. I think I'm like 6'2" or 6'3". I'm pretty tall. And I definitely have like relatively expensive clothing of the day because I'm a noble. So, but I'm not like an asshole. But I definitely come from, like pretty noble shit. So I like to dress nice, not to be an asshole, but just to like look the part.
All right, Vivalina, our other Aasimar, kind of half angel person, like Andrew there. You two have a little bit of an affinity towards each other, right from the bat, because you're both have celestial blood running through your veins.
Gross perverts.
What is our nature domain cleric wearing?
I'm also soups tall, like 6'2" and a half, just because I like to like be a little bit taller than Andrew. And and when I came down to earth, I saw this dress that I just thought was the most beautiful thing ever, and I had no idea that it was like a 1980s wedding dress, that big poofy ugly ass shoulder pads, so I look even bigger. I liked that. Like just way too much lace and flowy things, and I think I look great, and I look like shit in to humans. So that's my jam.
Perfect. So this little satyr Marvin stands in front of you in a plaid waistcoat. He's total Donald Ducking it, like like shirt, no pants, which is kind of odd. But you just kind of go with it because he's like half goat, half man. So why not? And he tells you we've been searching for the heart of the tyrant, and we know where it is, but I need a team of individuals to go in and retrieve it for us. It is 50 gold pieces plus whatever treasure you may find along the way that you can carry out with you, to help us retrieve the heart of the tyrant. What say you all?
I'm in. Let's do this. I want some
Yeah.
money.
Yeah, so in 50 gold pieces, adjusted for inflation to today's world, it's like $10,000
Each?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
down.
it's a chunk of change. 50 gold pieces is a chunk of change.
All right.
Perfect. We leave on the morrow. I have already told the barkeep that your drinks and food and lodging are on me for the evening. There will be a cart waiting for you in the morning, that will take you to our archaeological site where we believe we have found where these two warriors hid this stone. And I will see you in the morning, but I bid you farewell, for I must sleep. And he walks off, and he just seems super happy. He's kind of clicking his little hooves as he walks away, just there's a little spring in his step, like, yes, we kind of got this going. So you're kind of free to do what you want. You've got an evening free. Does anybody want to go to bed, or do you want to interact at the bar? Oh, I froze there, at least on my screen. Very, very unflatteringly.
Yep.
Very unflatteringly was that one. Wow. That was great.
Let's party. Going to the bar.
I'm pumped. When I get my 10,000, I can buy some shoes for my dress.
I'm going
And
upstairs.
you said drinks are on you, so
Yeah, your tab is covered. So perfect. So we've got Lazura is going up to the bar and getting, what are you drinking tonight?
ooh. I'm drinking a Mandarin frogs teeny.
A Mandarin Frogtini. I like that. The bartender has no problem doing this. He's like, oh yeah, man, Mandarin Frogtini. Haven't made one of those in a while. All right, yeah, I can do that for you. He's like muddling some shit. There's like a frog jumps out of the shaker as he's trying to hook it up. He's like, it's all right, I got it. It's all good, man. Pours it out, serves it to you. Anybody else getting a drink or trying to interact with a barmaid or looking around at other patrons? It's a relatively there's not that many people in the tavern, but there's 10, 15 people. Everybody seems to be human.
I'm gonna drink a White Russian because I think it looks good with my shitty outfit. I'm like really feeling myself tonight at this bar.
It's all right. Bartender gets done with the frog tea. He's, oh, White Russian, all right, man. Look at you. Got a little Lebowski thing going on. Pours it, slides it down to you. Dalkin, I believe you said you went up to bed.
But then I actually changed my mind because I need to bond with these people that I'm going to be with, because I got to bond to have like a good like interaction, better for battle. So I've come back down and I'm having a mango vodka tonic.
Ugh, basic, whatever. Here you go, bro. Drops a straw in it.
Here you go,
Now
lady.
Serves you up.
Myers-Briggs for your
What's that?
What's your Myers-Briggs for your obviously introverted
Oh yeah, INTJ all the way.
Okay, got it.
My big ass will just have the biggest meat you got.
He basically, if that's what you're ordering, he just doesn't even bother with a cup. He literally just hands you the small cask with the tap in it, and hands it across. And he's like, all right, man, you're a serious fella there. Go ahead, enjoy that. So that the evening while's on. If you guys want food, you can get food. They've got roast and things. Frozen again. That wasn't as bad. Yeah, anybody want to try talking to a patron or anything? You don't have to. I'm just throwing stuff out there to give you like an idea of things you can do. That like where the whole role playing aspect of Dungeons and Dragons comes from.
Yes.
You can just
I would
talk
like
to
to
each
talk
other.
to a patron and say, is anyone familiar with this Marvin guy? Like, tell me more about Marvin. Do you know anything about him? Anything we should know? Can we trust him?
So you kind of asked this question out loud to no one in particular, and a gentleman towards the end of the bar, an old salty looking character smoking on a churchwarden pipe, takes the pipe out of his mouth and goes, and the Shaders showed up about a month ago with a crew of dwarves and a couple of gnomes, and they've been going back and forth from the foothills in the forest, getting supplies and bringing things. Seems like a good enough fella, but a sort of a errand like this, none of us really wanted to handle. I'm just your regular farmer. Doug's the name, Doug the farmer. And
So he approached you with this.
oh yeah, he asked several people. That's why he put that ad on Ye Old's Craigslist that it was posted that you answered, and that's where it came from. But he seems to be on the up and up.
Why did they turn it down? 10,000, 50 gold pieces is a lot of money.
50 gold pieces, certain death. It's kind of a it's kind of a way. I think he did kind of downplay the ability of what could go on in this quest, because if you remember the old tale, the heart of the tyrant is guarded with several tasks that must be completed to reach it. Hey, Chuck, sing that song. And the bard at the who's sitting by the fire kind of tunes up his lute a little bit and starts to strum on it and sings this. It's a lively old tale that he sings, but it tells the story of these two blade singers who defeated this lich, took the heart of the tyrant, and the first thing they had to do in trying to hide it was they had to cross a river of fire by leaping from the dragon's mouth. Then they had to walk the code of Konami as they had developed to purify themselves, and finally they had to bring together the four elements of creation to unlock the final door to where the tyrant's heart was going to be hidden. And so you get the feeling from this tale that there's a lot that could happen to you in going on here, and Marvin probably downplayed this, but that's also probably why he's offering 10,000 gold. But these are your basic town folks, so they're an old superstitious lot. They're not adventurers out of the thing. Like Doug said, he's Doug the farmer. He's just here. He plowed the field all day, and now he's here in the inn, having a tankard of mead and talking to you, good folks.
Do we know each other?
You and Doug?
No, me and the other, all our names, like Vivalina and Paladin and other cleric. Sorry.
I don't know. You guys can decide that. Do you know each other?
I think I just met you guys, and I'm very, very excited for you to just be like taking this all in. That I just think looks. But I do not realize
the mystery of you.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got the.
So we should talk. We should at least if we're all gonna risk our lives together, we should definitely at least get to know something about each other, like why we're all, our backgrounds, our experience fighting, questing.
What do you want to know?
I want to know what's your motivation for this quest? Why do you want to do it?
I would like to get some fabulous human shoes that match my dress. I think that's what they go for, like 10,000 or something. That sounds right.
Okay. All right. And actually, we should probably all say each other's names too, because I'm terrible with names, even though I'm a noble and even though I'm a sorcerer. Like we all can't be perfect. So my short-term memory is terrible. I remember Vivalina. But who are the other two that we're gonna be with? Introduce yourselves, please.
You just call it.
Lazuria.
Go ahead.
That was Lazuria,
Lazuria.
I think. Hang on.
Lazura Haventree.
Lazura Haventree.
Lazura Haventree.
I'm going to change it here.
Do you come from a tree?
I do not.
Do you come from
a land down under?
I do. There I am. Lazura Haventree.
Lazura is a very unique name. Does it mean anything?
It was just an old family name
Nice.
passed down from generation to generation of healers.
Healer.
I'm a healer. Yes.
I love that accent.
Mhm.
It's like it's like I believe in some other realm, some other dimension I've been to with lots of modern things. It sounds almost Irish, but again, it doesn't mean anything in our realm. But in the other dimension, I think it was an Irish accent.
Oh, I see.
Lazura, was your boyfriend or your husband sad to see you leave, or the guy you're seeing, or the girl you're seeing?
Slick Vivalina, slick.
Yeah. Just, as she slips a Mickey into her drink.
Vivalina the roofiest.
Yeah.
I have no guy.
What a cool.
I'm all alone.
There's
Paladin, you were going to say something.
My name is Mofak. There's more to it, but it doesn't matter. It's a family name, and my family is gone. I have no one, and now I fight for those that need fighting for.
Wow. Man, a few words. And why did you choose to join this quest?
Just needed a quest and needed to help some people accomplish a task. It was the first one I saw. Sounded dangerous, and money never hurts.
Everybody roll a perception check.
I got a 22.
Yes, and 23s and 13s. Yeah. So you all, even though you've been drinking and carousing a little bit and getting to know each other, you do all have the presence of mind to know that the cuckoo clock in the corner has just struck 11 at night. So Marvin said, you would be leaving at dawn, to where it was. Just making you. That's all.
Well, now that we've definitely at least gotten to know each other's names, I'm going to try to test my memory. Vivalina, Lazura, Mofak. Mofak?
Mofak.
Fuck
Yes.
you.
Mofak is later, after a few more drinks.
Fuck, not fuck. Anyways,
Married to Mrs. Last Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. Currently less fuck. Later.
Mofak. Mofak.
Mofak.
Mofak. Thank you. I may retire. I do want to be well rested for tomorrow's journey. I have no idea how we may need it. Y'all can carry on, but I think I am going to call it a night. So it was a pleasure meeting all of you. We'll see you in the morning.
Good night, Dalgan.
Good night.
Good night.
Farewell.
Did you just call him Gilligan?
No, he said don't.
Okay, Skipper. I'm out.
Dalgan. Is it Dalgan?
Falcon.
Dalgan. Like
The duck. Okay, I thought you said Gilligan. I was like, all right then.
Well,
Drunken
I'm-
Vivalina talking shit in her big ass bride's
yeah.
outfit.
I think as long as everybody else is staying down, I'm going to slide kind of into a corner table and drink my meat and just watch and make sure everybody is safe.
And like I said, it's even without a perception check. It's a nice, quiet tavern in a nice, quiet town. Nothing seems out of place here at all.
That's what they said about
nobody,
Jeffrey Dahmer's house.
right? No, but there's nobody in the corner looking shifty, like they have something to hide. Except for that one dude. No, it's real quiet and but there are still patrons there. Doug the farmer is talking to another guy. There's the serving maids are doing their best to flirt with some of the farm hands that have come in and are sitting at a long table. They're all laughing with each other. The bard is playing an old classic tune that some people are tapping their feet to, and someone may start to dance at some point. But again, you do feel, at least you three, I don't know about Mofuck over there, but everybody else feels relatively safe.
Yeah, you know.
Well, I'm gonna go upstairs and go to sleep, so I get my beauty sleep. I'd like to know more about Mofuck tomorrow.
It's gonna stick.
Hell yeah, it is. It's all right.
Mofuck the paladin.
Don't fuck with Mofac, because then you get Mofucked.
So that leaves Lazura down in
I
the
love
bar with Mofac.
Well, hit me with another frogtini.
All right, man. Look at her getting kind of loose. I like it. He's just shaking it up again, just muddling that frog. This time the frog
Yep.
doesn't escape, and it crushes right there, and he pours it in and slides it across. So I'm Ted. Ted, your mixologist. Looks like you guys signed on with Marvin there. It's good luck with that. That's quite a challenge you're undertaking there.
Well, why do you say it that way?
Well,
You're putting some distrust into my mind.
oh no, man, I'm just making conversation, but it's like it's just gonna be dangerous. That's all. That's why I didn't do it. You're talking about leaping from a dragon's mouth into a lake of fire, and then you gotta like walk a whole like path of righteousness that these guys did, and then you gotta do something with like 4 elements. I just don't know, man. That sounds all dangerous to me. I'm just here mixing drinks, getting people wasted. That's what I do. I mean, I got another job at Sandy and Schwartz's down the way.
Schwartz and Sandy's.
I work Thursday nights at Tom Tom, and it's a good life, So why risk that? I mean, don't get me wrong, 10,000 gold pieces is a lot of gold, but
You do know that Lisa is my bestie.
Oh yeah, Lisa. All right then. Yeah, Sheena's my ex-girlfriend.
Yes, the Vanderpumps and the Haven Trees, we go way back.
Kevin shaking his head. Next time on Dungeons and Bravo. Yeah, so he smiles at you briefly, and he walks down to the other end of the bar and is helping out another patron who kind of caught his attention.
Well, I'm out of here. Time to get to my rest before our quest.
I'll head up too then.
All right,
Everybody's
so
safe for tonight.
snuggled, resting in their beds. Dawn comes and there's a
Wait, who's Dawn?
at each
Oh God, sorry.
dawn breaks. Wait, who's Dawn? And there's a knock at each of your doors, and it's one of the serving maids from the night before with your wake up call and a little bit of breakfast to kind of get you going in the morning, and you're all informed that horses are being brought around and light provisions are there, and if anybody were to look out their window, they would see Marvin down on the street already down there just checking the horses, and he's got a cart with what looks like just your basic kind of supplies for some sort of a camping trip, kind of a thing going on.
Like marshmallows and shit?
Oh yeah,
Hmm.
Stay Puffed and everything.
Nice.
So what are you guys doing?
So I'm walking downstairs and I'm next to the wagon and I'm like, all right, so I guess today's the day. We are setting off. How long will it take to get to our first place? Do we have an itinerary?
Yes, actually, it's only a day's ride away. We were actually very surprised at how close it was, but we found it hidden in the side of a mountain. We've set up a camp. There's a few dwarves and some gnomes, I said, who are just very good with stone, so they've been doing some exploring down there. But we do believe that's why we've hired you. We've reached a point where people of our abilities are well not going to be able to retrieve this. It takes bravery and courage beyond the likes that we possess. We're archaeologists, and
Something just occurred to me. I think that given how perilous this journey is, um, I think it would be fair for us to receive a deposit payment. So shall we get half now? And we'll get the other half when we come back.
And I would also like your shoes.
so he's a satyr. He has cloven hooves, and he's not wearing shoes. Unless he, well, no, he does, but you'd have to like take them off with a hammer because he gets them like nailed on like horseshoes. They're little satyr shoes that he gets.
I mean, if he doesn't want to pay us up front, I'm okay with that.
I'll tell you what. Let's see. Let me look at. I like that. All right. So Andrew, roll a persuasion check for me.
Oh, damn. 11.
Well, sir, in good faith, that is why we paid for your room and your drink and your food last night. In reality, even if I were to give you a deposit, with the perils that this journey may entail, if I gave you even say half the gold at this point, the only thing that would happen is I would have to retrieve the gold from your dead body from within the location of where we believe this is. So I don't think a deposit is necessary. And if you choose to not participate in our little activity, we can find someone to replace you.
Would it change your mind if I showed you one boob?
Roll a perception check with advantage. Or no, a persuasion check with advantage. So when somebody has advantage, what happens is it happens in various situations. You get to roll twice. And when you have advantage, you get to use the higher of the two. And if you roll with disadvantage, you have to use the lower of the two.
21.
So Vivolino whips out a boob, and the satyr's jaw drops a little bit, and he holds out a sack of coins to her, and he just kind of stands there a little dumbfounded as to what just happened. He's just kind of awestruck by a priestess in a green wedding dress showing her tits like it's Mardi Gras at like 6 a.m.
Is there a better time?
So
It's
so
like she wore a tank top to bed and it just flopped out the side.
So Kim has managed to Vivolina has managed to secure herself a deposit on this money. It's not half like that Andrew was talking, but from the weight of the sack of coins, you feel there's at least 100, if not 200 gold pieces in this little sack of coins. It's a very hefty sack, but it's nowhere near the 5 Andrew was trying to, or Dalkin was trying to persuade Marvin to kind
Wait,
of part
I thought it
with.
was 50 gold pieces each, right?
Wait, did I say 50 or 10,000?
Well, $10,000, 50 gold pieces. I'm just trying to
Oh,
make
yeah, so it would have been 25. Yeah, no, so Kim, it's like a sack with like 10 gold pieces in it.
Wait. So hold on a second. I was gonna hey, first of all,
So you were trying to get 25 gold
oh
pieces.
yeah, I know. So Vivolina was only getting half for herself, not for the whole party.
Oh, this is for the team.
Yeah, so it's gonna be it's
Those
so
are team
anyways,
boobs, dude.
These
Team
are,
boobs.
these are everybody's boobs.
community boobs.
Mm-hmm.
The sorcerer's got to show his boobs too.
Deal.
What, me?
That's what the satyr said.
Fuck it. I mean, I don't care.
You
Shit.
show the left, I'll show the right.
All right,
Done.
roll
Teamwork. Oh,
roll a charisma check.
that's
Andrew.
bullshit. Because if I do this, it doesn't work. Then I just wasted.
You know what?
Hold on.
Don't have ugly boobs, man.
So for
Right?
charisma,
Right.
it's just a straight check at the top, based on your
Got
just
it.
on
Okay.
your ability score itself.
Now you're pretty fucking charismatic. I think we're all right.
I don't know, man. It
So-
says 15.
When you pull up your shirt and show off your well-muscled chest with like the slight dragon scales here and there that have kind of showed up, his jaw drops even lower, and you're caught questioning what's going on with this satyr. As he goes, all right, fair enough. You obviously are you're people who are serious about this, and it's either this or
Loose
your
morals.
ye old OnlyFans is pretty lit. So he throws everybody a sack of 10 gold coins as a deposit. So you all have like close to half up front now.
Cool.
Because
Mars for the win.
the two Asimars have shown off their nipples at 6 a.m.
Teamwork.
I think they ought to do a jumping chest bump. Slap them angel titties. All right.
So Marvin jumps in the cart. Jumps in the cart. Gestures to the horses behind him, and offers you each a horse, and cracks the reins and sets out. I'm going to assume you all get on a horse and follow him.
I love that we have our own horses. This is dope. Cool. All right.
Yep. Saddle up and go.
So like he said, it's about a little less than a day's ride. You travel along a road. It's very uneventful. It's very weather's nice. It's just towards the end of spring, beginning of summer, and it pleasant, cool but not cold, warm but not hot, light breeze. Butterflies are going on the wind. You come to a fork in the road, the left fork leading off into a wooded area towards a kind of a mountainous hilly area, and the right kind of carrying off on into the distance. And he starts leading the cart to the left. into this wooded area. And after another hour or two travel, you come to a clearing that butts right up against the side of. It's not really a mountain, but it's not really a hill. And it's stone. It's clearly natural, but in this stone, on the side of this hillock, if you will, there is a doorway that's been carved. Who here speaks Elvish?
We both do, I think. I do. I think Lazura
Yeah, I
has.
do.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody who speaks Elvish can see that at the top, etched in an older Elven dialect, but definitely definitely Elvish. It just says the heart of the tyrant lies within. Beware.
Money, 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 money. Easy money. Let's do this. No
You
fear.
you do see right here in the clearing, like I said, there's been a camp that's been made. They've obviously had to do like some minor excavation, out of this hill here.
What up, Sean? Sorry, I just had to.
I thought
Did
that
you
was
hear?
Sean.
Totally there.
Someone has to get ye old DoorDash from the porch. So.
Okay, sorry. Keep going.
Ye
Sorry.
old
I just had
DoorDash.
to think of something. The intro.
So the there's, like I said, there's been a camp that's been set up. The dwarves and the gnomes are kind of milling about. Marvin parks the cart, walks over towards the doorframe, and says, and he's got a small box with him, and he hands it to. He's going to hand it to Lazura. And he says, we're not quite sure what these stones do, but we do know, just from all the clues and writings we've been able to find on the subject, these stones will have something to do with one of the challenges. From what we looked at, we believe it's the four elements of creation, because what else would there's four stones, four elements. I'm not exactly a mathematician, but I can put 4 and 4 together. So I will trust these with you. He hands you each a torch and says, "Good luck, my friends.
We will see you in about 24 hours.
May the odds be ever in your favor. I hope you come back."
We will, for the rest of our money.
Ooh, I like that.
Very aggressive.
Yes.
No more boobs. Oh, you
Way, way to draw the
Oh,
line.
come on. One more before you go.
Why'd you bring it up? Damn it.
This time I want the Goliath's boobs. So he kind of gestures into this stone archway, and it's, it gets very dark after about 10 feet in, where when the natural sunlight starts to fade away. What you gonna do?
I think well, we have torches, so shit.
Yeah.
We're good, right?
Yeah, you can see once that 10 feet of natural light starts to dissipate, you can see in there. Now, as you travel down, you travel about 20 feet down this hallway, and you can start to see an end to the hallway. There's a faint glowing light coming from the end. And as you get closer to that, another 20 feet, you start to feel some heat coming out of this kind of doorway that you're getting to. As you get closer, or right towards the edge of this door, the heat is not unbearable, but it's incredibly hot. And from the with the torch, you can see the door frame is actually a intricately carved dragon's head and mouth. And again, who were our Elvish speakers?
Myself and Vivalina. Oh, all three of us. Awesome.
Okay. You see etched underneath the dragon's mouth, only in a leap from the dragon's mouth can you prove your worth. And with the torch, you can kind of make out about 10 feet. There's another hallway that's about 10 feet. And from there, you can't see anything else but an orange-red glow.
Is this where I might roll perception? Would that help me determine?
Exactly. So you roll a perception check.
Just Dalkin or everybody?
Oh, Dalkin said he wants to. If everybody wants to roll a perception check, shit, everybody roll a perception check.
So I got a 16.
Okay. Anybody else want to roll one?
You got a
I
15.
got a 13.
So you all can tell that between the heat and the orange glow, this must be the river of fire that they're talking about, but none of you are close enough to see yet. But Dalkin, you can also kind of tell that the end of this hallway is the end of the hallway. There's no landing. There's nothing out on the end of this hallway. It's like the end of the doorway, and then there's nothing else there. Now you don't know if the river of fire or whatever it is the only thing that's there, but there's definitely, once you end this hallway, there's nothing else there to walk out into. Like the hallway doesn't empty out into anything else, if that makes sense.
So I'm a little confused because if we walked into this cavern and there's a dragon's head doorway, and then beyond the doorway, there's like a hallway that has nothing past it, and there's like a river of fire potentially under it. Like, it seems like there's nowhere to go.
Unless it's one of those trick hallways we've heard about.
It's like the fucking Acme hole that Bugs Bunny throws on a wall and he dives into.
It might be a decal. How sure are we?
Well, I mean, like I said, you're 10 feet from the end of the hallway. You can all walk to the end of the hallway. It's just a doorway.
Well, I mean, we should all, do we agree? Should we all walk to this hallway? It doesn't seem like there's want to do it?
Let's give it a try.
All right.
All right, so you walk to the end of the hallway, and sure as Dalkin had thought, it is basically a doorway in an open cliff face. There is a landing a good 100 yards on the other side of a flowing river of magma that is just giving off a nice intense heat that's hot and burning, but it's the chasm that it's in is deep enough below you. It's a good 50, 60 feet that it doesn't burn you, but it's hot. It's like when you're making a frozen pizza and the oven's preheating and you open the oven and that like first blast of heat hits you. It's just that,
Okay.
like coming at you.
Is anybody very good at throwing? Could you throw us?
Mofak, but then if he does throw
I'm
us,
strong, but I don't know if I can throw anybody that far.
Okay.
I wonder if there's a teleportation spell I can do.
Yes, you do have. We have to read the spell and double check the range. But in your character, Andrew, if you look down, I believe it's a 2nd level spell, and it is called Misty Step.
It doesn't seem
Okay, so briefly, this is what Misty Step does. Its casting time is a bonus action, so you can do it, like in combat if you wanted to. You're briefly surrounded by a silvery mist. You teleport up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space that you can see. So this would get you, what, like a third of the way across?
so it's not going to work. Okay.
Yeah, like I said, it's about 100 yards across this. The Misty Step will do 30 feet.
Okay. Well, that's that. Anybody got any ideas besides being thrown?
Doesn't anybody have wings that I can't see?
How did the old song go? About leaping from a dragon's mouth?
They leapt from the dragon's mouth and crossed the river of flame. And remember the inscription on the outside underneath the dragon says, doo-doo-doo, "Only with a leap from the dragon's mouth shall you prove your worth."
How far are we from the dragon's mouth on the landing?
Well, so the dragon's mouth was the doorway at the end of
Yeah.
this like 20-foot tunnel. That, like I said, that's a 20-foot tunnel into the sheer cliff face with the door open. On the other side, about 100 yards away, there's a decent sized landing from there, and then another doorway on the other side that you can see. But it's 100. You're talking about possibly jumping an entire football field.
Does anyone know how to make rope from stone? Nobody. Should we go back? What do we do?
Well, no, I want the money.
Yeah.
You have to, there's a way to
No other doors?
No,
Are we
other
missing
doors.
a door here?
Nope. Yeah, the perception check that Andrew rolled when he was first looking down there would have covered anything, and it was just a, like I said, 20-foot stone hallway, just carved straight through. It's a perfect rectangle, approximately 10 feet across and 12 feet tall. You know, it's a little wider and bigger than a regular hallway, obviously, but it's still just a stone hallway. So, you know, at that width across, realistically, you could fit 4 across. Like you can all, you know, fit shoulder to shoulder, like across this hallway.
So if I'm understanding correctly, we walk through a hallway and now we're just like here and there's
Right.
like a lava under here and it's like a football field across to get to the other side and the other side has a doorway.
Yes, but there is also a landing on the other side, which I'll give you. Forget a roll. It's a decent sized landing. You know, it's 10 or 15 feet wide. You know, 10, 15 feet deep. Like it's a the far
Yeah,
side
so
of a,
yeah. So like
yeah, it's like the
either
far side of a bridge, if you will. But there's nothing like that on the side you guys are on. It is just a sheer cliff face. So when you guys are standing at the end of this hallway, looking
it's
out over
straight
the river
down.
lava, it is straight down into nothing.
I feel like we have to jump. A leap of faith.
It's almost like a leap of faith, exactly. What did the riddle say, Mofac, again? Do you remember?
I don't know. I'm a dumbass. My intelligence is like 4, so I don't think I'm the one remembering this stuff.
I'll give it to you again. It's only in a leap from the dragon's head shall you prove your worth.
Well, I still feel like just jumping is dumb because we're not. Well, I guess technically we are still in the dragon's head or the dragon's neck. But if we jump, like that could be it. Like I don't know. I mean, it seems to be the only way to go. All right, so let's just say one of us jumps, okay? Um,
Who will volunteer as tribute?
like, can we like
Resurrect.
exactly Dungeon Master? Like, if we can we get is this a video game? Can we get more lives?
So, I mean, you can go back to town and pay a cleric of a higher order to resurrect someone, but a resurrection spell costs about 10,000 gold pieces.
Okay, so we'd be back to 0. All right, I think I'm going to do a. I might do insight on this one. Maybe either insight or um maybe performance. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of like what would actually apply here.
So, insight is more of like, so like if you click on any of those words,
Mhm.
it'll open eyes. It'll open up a window on the right side of the screen. So this is like insight check decides whether you can determine the true intentions of a creature. That's like telling if
got it.
someone's lying.
All right.
I will say this. Let's everybody roll a another perception check.
Okay.
Ooh,
18.
Nice.
I got an 18 also.
I got 12.
13.
12.
13.
Okay. Mofak and Vivalina.
Brains of this outfit.
As you look out across the way, something just doesn't seem right. Like there, you can see the river of fire, but it doesn't feel like it's as hot as it should be where you guys are standing.
This is a trick.
I'll make the jump.
The fake hallway.
I'll make the jump.
Thank
You're gonna jump off?
Mm-hmm.
All right, roll an acrobatics check.
Acrobatics.
you.
Son of a shit. There you go. Suck it.
19.
I'm acrobatic as shit.
So Mofak leaps off the side of this mountain and goes about 8 feet out. It's a great leap and falls about 5 feet down and lands perfectly in like superhero pose, like straight up on what appears to be some sort of a solid surface that is suspended up above the river of fire, but somehow seems to be the river of fire at the same time.
I fell
So-
into a burning ring of fire.
Does anybody under their spells have detect magic or anything like that?
I do. I do.
You have detect magic. You could
Sure
cast a
do.
detect magic spell if you wanted.
Let's do it.
All right. So, with that detect magic spell, so detect magic will tell you that you know, there is magic going on, and B, kind of the school of magic that it is. So when casting detect magic, it is clear that there is some sort of illusory magic that is, if you will, kind of making whatever he landed on look exactly like a flowing river of fire. But it's not. The flowing river of fire is clearly below it and to the sides. So it's almost like a bridge that looks exactly like the river of fire, but stretches from what you could tell at least 8 feet out. You're not quite sure how much farther it goes, but it at least goes 8 feet.
Can I cast another detect magic on it to see?
You get the exact same thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So maybe we all just jump to where Mofak jumped as a starter. So do I need to roll a dice? Okay, I just jumped. Boom. Cool. Good job, Mofak.
Yeah, you're right next to Mofak.
All right, cool.
And if
Okay,
Lazura,
I'm coming.
yeah,
I'm coming. You got me?
We got you. Nice.
I'm there.
All right, and then Vivalina.
I would assume if she's willing to flash her boobs to strangers, she'll jump down a step where everybody else is.
Do not see my fork. Repeat what you said.
So they have all jumped off and landed next to Mofak.
I too
on
should have
this.
jumped.
So the four of you are on this kind of unseen bridge above the River of Fire, about 8 feet out, and you've got, let's see if I do the quick math, another 90 yards to go to be on the other side.
Does it feel slanted at all?
Uh,
A flat surface?
roll one last perception check. Actually, no. Everybody roll an investigation check.
Oh, I'm fucked on that. I'm dumb as shit.
18.
Vivalina's got her back.
Yes, she does. I only have 11.
Vivalina, just you're not 100% sure why, but just the strange angle that you landed, or when you looked at this walkway or path that you're on, clearly is as wide as that hallway and stretches all the way across the full 100 yards to the other side.
Should
And
we
you
hold
figure
hands and go
you
together?
you could certainly hold hands if you want. That's up to you guys.
Fuck it. Let's do it.
Team
So-
bonding.
Let's go.
All right, so you guys make your way across the football field's invisible bridge and to the other side.
Woohoo!
And there was much rejoicing in the land.
Yes. Team
You now have another hallway.
Fucking hallways.
Would you like to go down this hallway?
Sure. There's nowhere else to go.
All right, hold on one second. Okay. So you proceed down this hallway and you come to another chamber. This chamber is a good 40 feet from where you're standing to the other side, where you see another doorway. Inlaid into the floor, there are 13 rows of stones that stretch from one side to the other, and the room's about 20 feet across or so. The first 8 rows of stones, Lazura and Dalkin and Vivalina, you all recognize, have in different orders in each of these rows. In the first rows, you notice the elven symbols for arrows.
I speak Elvish too, actually.
Oh, you do? Okay, so
do.
you all know, you're all reading this, and you can all tell that. And these, what did I say? The first 8 rows, yeah, the first 8 rows are the Elvish words, or the Elvish kind of symbols for arrows. The arrows point away from you towards the other side of the room. An arrow points back towards you, and an arrow points to the left, and an arrow points to the right. And there are, like I said, 8 rows of this. And then there are 4 rows with the first 2 letters of the Elvish alphabet, the equivalent of an A and a B. In just again random order. I see Kevin's grin. And then the last row, you notice the elven words for start, end, begin, and finish. Etched into the ground before the path, it says, follow the code of the Konami to continue on your quest.
Mofak knows something. Let us know. Help the team.
Oh fuck, have you played Jumanji before?
Mofak has played Contra before. So I will step on the up arrow in row 1.
You step on the first up arrow in row 1, and it slightly depresses. You hear a clicking sound, but nothing happens.
Cool. I will step on the up arrow in row 2.
And then you come to the words start, begin, select, or end.
Start. I will take start, my friend.
When you step on the start, it clicks into place and you are able to step off onto the other side to what is clearly a safe space.
Thank you, Mofak.
The nerd of power.
I knew you had that one the minute I saw the grin. And we'll tell everybody about that later. But the minute I said what the stones were, I saw your grin and I was like, he fucking figured it out.
Yeah,
even if you
I
didn't
had
get
it.
that, even if you didn't get from the name,
I had it before, yeah.
you did, yeah. So everyone makes it across this stone path, and there is yet another hallway. This one is only a 10-foot hallway though, and it comes into a circular room that is well lit from some source of light you don't know. It's a circular room. There is a circle in the center, approximately 10 feet wide, just swirling with different energy and power. Even without rolling an arcana or a detect magic check, this is clearly from this pool. There is some sort of magic radiating out. Set in 4 positions on different sides, if you will, of this circle are 4 columns, and there are 4 the 4 columns have 4 symbols on them. On one of the columns are some straight lines that go horizontally across. On one of the columns, there are a series of wavy lines that go horizontally across on the top. There are, on another column, a series of wavy lines that go horizontally across on the bottom. And on the 4th column, there are a series of wavy lines that come from the bottom up to the top.
So they're vertical?
Yes, vertical.
Does anyone have a multipass?
Lazura, fuck you, Kevin. Are they, did you ever look at inside the box that Marvin gave you? I forgot.
Box of stones.
I looked at the 4 elements.
So these stones have the same symbols that are on these columns. Like for each column, there is a matching symbol on a different stone.
Okay. So do I need to go up to these columns and see if there's anywhere to use these stones?
So the quick examination of each column, there looks like on the top of the column, they're only about 5 feet tall. There looks like a place right on top where you could put a stone, one of these stones, right on the onto the column itself.
Okay. Let me go place those.
Okay, so you're obviously placing them on the corresponding symbols.
Correct.
All right, you place them on the corresponding symbols, and absolutely nothing happens.
Well,
Have you tried putting them in your mouth and touching this columns?
it's something I have not tried. I don't know that I shall do that.
Just putting that out there.
Do we need to do some sort of opposite placement or?
Everybody roll an Arcana check. Andrew, you can roll with advantage.
I wait. So how do I roll?
You roll twice.
Yeah, you just roll twice and take the higher of the 2 rolls.
Got it. Well, I'm so glad that I. Anyway, the first one roll was higher. I got 23.
Okay. With the even though you do have an inbound magic presence and power that comes from you, there's still some studying of magic that you've done, and with magical items you're assuming of this kind, they need to be activated somehow.
Okay. So is there an activation spell? Okay.
You know what? With a 23, I'll let you know there isn't a spell that activates them, but you do know there is an order that they need to be activated in.
Okay. So let's try this, Lazura. We're just going to do this for shits and giggles. How about the pillar with the bottom wavy? We'll put that rock on first. Then we'll go with shit. I only remember 3 of them.
They have a bottom wavy, a top wavy, horizontal lines, and then vertical wavy lines. Right?
Yeah,
that sounds right.
Like bottom horizontal lines that are straight.
Right.
Okay, so in that case, let's do the bottom horizontal line straight first. We'll do that one first. Then we'll do the wavy bottom second, then the vertical third, and then we'll do the wavy at the top last. We'll see if that works.
Okay.
Nothing happens.
All right. We'll just keep doing it. Trial and error, man. So let's do, and I want it to be democratic. Anybody else have any ideas as to the order?
Is there a way to do the up, down, down, left, right, select, up, down pattern that I have specifically memorized?
Someone said multipass, so now I gotta Google. Can I Google?
Have at it.
3 days later.
The best part is right now there's somebody listening or watching this screaming at you
Losing
fucking guys. Like, I know Kevin is. Kevin wants to
say, move back. You're part of this crew. You should just be helping us. Why are you like letting us...
Because, and this is kudos for Kevin. Kudos for Kevin for the role play. Even though Kevin the person knows this.
Got it.
Mofuck is stupid enough
Dumb as
not
shit.
to know this.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm dumb as paint. I'm lucky I'm in the room.
I'm remembering my old friend Luke Perry.
Luke the Wise.
Luke the Wise. But I'm drawing a blank after that.
And his friend Aziz.
Sideburns. His friend what?
Aziz.
Dallas Multipass.
Multipass.
Am I remembering correctly?
I don't know if you guys wanted to look, read what I just threw into the group chat again.
Dig yourselves out.
Kind of.
I highly recommend somebody just accidentally exhales on the windstone.
All right, cool. So
That's right.
so basically, we put all the stone to the damn pillars, and then I'm gonna blow on the windstone, and then it activated.
When you blow on the windstone, you hear a clicking noise, and it drops down into the other column, and a beam of white light shoots up towards the ceiling.
Cool.
All so clear now.
Who put this crew together?
Yikes. Breathe fire. No.
Okay, so you still have earth, water, and fire left to activate.
I'll cast Sacred Flame on the fire. The cantrip, Sacred Flame, on the Firestone.
Okay.
I feel so hot, and
everyone roll a dexterity.
I want
saving
to
throw.
see where she's going with that. Go back.
Oh, is it that big? Never mind. I don't want to light everybody on fire.
No,
I thought it was smaller than that.
It's roll a dexterity saving throw.
Is that
Ooh,
also
I'm
called
fine.
Where?
$21.
sleight of hand?
All the way at the
it's
top.
Just straight dex. Yeah, just at the top
I got
where
a
like
12.
you have.
Oh,
I got 21.
17.
Ooh,
3.
Vivalina and Dalric
Falcon
Dalkin um
got singed.
take 2 points of fire damage as these little
Thanks, Mopac.
tongues of flame shoot out from that pool that's in the center of these and hit you, whereas Mofuck and Lazura, these flame tongues shoot out at you and you're deftly able to dodge to the side as they shoot past you and just cascade harmlessly into the wall.
So do I have to click damage now?
Yeah. Just
All right.
I mean, just yeah, if you just like type in 2 and then damage, it'll do the math for you. Or you can just literally just
Yeah, I
adjust
see
it yourself
Cool.
to keep it a running
So
stat.
I'm at 27. All right. So now, because I want to get past this room because it's pissing me off a little bit.
I
No.
do have continual flame. Can I try that? Or will that meet us with the same fate as Mo fucking?
Um
I'm all fucked up. I'm sorry.
you could try whatever you want.
That feels wrong. I will go back to deferring to Dalkin.
No, don't. I mean, we're all figuring this out. I'm just trying to cast. We blow on it. So water. I'm just trying to find a spell that can cast water. I want to cast water on the water
No.
stone.
Throw some
Absolutely.
dirt. Just throw some dirt on
Okay.
the earth stone.
What if we
Is the fire done?
do a continual flame? We're sweating our asses off, and then our sweat goes onto the
Oh, that's actually pretty smart, Lazura. All right, but okay, basically
onto the
flame-
water stone.
on the water stone, exactly. All right, so let's squeeze our sweat onto the water stone.
I feel
Breathe
like there's an
in.
easier way to get liquid out of us, but we can do that if you must.
So you squeeze some sweat onto the
We're
water
trying
stone?
to be mysterious here.
Everybody roll a dexterity saving throw.
What? Why?
Ooh, I got hit this time.
8.
I got an 18.
6. Ugh.
Everyone but our good Asimar sorcerer Dalkin takes 2 points of damage as a jet of water shoots out from this pool and slams into you, and he again this time deftly dodges the blast of water.
This is my first dodge, so we're all taking some hits. I think.
Put dirt onto the sand onto the earth stone.
Right, so I
Just a
grab some
handful of
dirt.
dirt.
Drops a handful of dirt on the earth stone, and it drops down into the column, and a green light shoots up from the stone and hits the ceiling.
Now do the water stone.
We already did the water stone, didn't we?
And then it fucked us up because we did it out of order. Because there's an order, if you'll recall.
Oh.
Does anyone have a very, very sad memory they can pull up to cry on?
This section of this particular campaign is making me very sad.
Well, first of all, it's wind blows, fire burns, rain falls. So basically, we already did wind and fire. Well, actually,
Keep reading, ADD boy.
Yeah, there's like 4 more paragraphs.
Where it literally outlines the order that it was done in the movie.
He's stealing it from the movie, man.
the air was first.
Do the water stone.
Oh shit. Okay, fine. All
Do
right.
the water stone next.
All right. So I'm spitting on the water stone. Done. All right.
The stone drops down into the pillar, and a blue light shoots up towards the ceiling.
It's not a flame
All right.
stone. Ugh.
And now finally we got fire. So I'm gonna cast it here. Can I cast a fire? Is that like, do I have that? Actually, it's a fucking cantrip or cantrip, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna cantrip a fucking shit. Fire. Boom.
And the firestone drops down into the column, and a red beam of light shoots up into the ceiling, and the doorway opposite that slides open, revealing another hallway.
All right, we did
So
it, guys.
far in our journey. Are your legs tired yet, everybody? We've gone so far.
We're down like 3 hallways. We basically walked. We've gone from homeroom to math class.
Oh,
They will tell stories about us.
and our brilliance.
The stuff of legend,
Our
yes.
brilliant minds.
As they stared at stones like dumbasses.
Peeing on them.
In my defense, I am a dumbass, so. Shall
So
we
we just-
continue down the next hallway?
Yes.
All right. You proceed down the next hallway, and you enter the largest room yet. It's about 100 yards across and 100 yards deep, with a very, very large hallway on the other end that is black. You can't see anything through it. But in the center of the room, there are 2 stone sarcophagi, if you will.
Exactly.
For the viewers at home,
That's a box for dead people.
describe a sarcophagi.
It's a fancy coffin from a long time ago.
I, of course, knew that.
So what you gonna do?
Oh, I'm going to do some arcane shit. So I'm gonna roll an arcane die just to see like what's going
An
on.
Arcana check?
Arcana check. Yep.
Okay. Roll an Arcana check.
23, baby.
Outwardly, from what you can tell, just with this Arcana check and your knowledge of magic, these sarcophagus may or may not have some magic protection on them. They are more than likely the sarcophagus of the 2 warriors, these 2 elven blade singers that put the that came in here from the legend that brought the heart of the tyrant into here to protect it. After about a minute of searching around, everybody roll a perception check.
I keep doing this. I suck at these. 16. Never mind. I'm great at these.
Oh damn! I got
Oh.
4.
Lazura?
Oh, 7.
Mofek, you notice in that large dark hallway across the other side of this room, there seems to be a very faint light that's headed towards you all.
We should walk towards the light, Carol Ann.
It's like a small light that's appears to be getting closer, but very slowly.
Could be a person.
Are we in Tron right now?
Can I do perception again? For some reason, I can't like these. You said the letters like when I do like when I hover over, or it doesn't tell me what each one. Oh, forget it. I found it. Sorry. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna do perception.
Hello.
Nope, perception. I got an 11.
And 11. Yeah, you basically see the same thing. Is there's this faint light starting to drift towards you. And after so what are you guys doing at the moment?
I'm
Probably
getting
walk
ready to
towards
do
those
stuff.
sarcophagi, yeah.
So like I said, it's about 100 yards across. So just walking at a normal pace, it's going to take you like 10 to 15 seconds to get to the sarcophagi from the other hallway. And in that 10 to 15 seconds, that light has gotten larger, as if it's gotten closer, and almost imperceptibly, but you still kind of feel it. The ground trembles a little bit every like half second or so, almost like a footstep.
Footstep. So some
All right,
big stepping
so
glowy motherfuckers coming towards us.
yeah, and I'm trying to remember. Okay, with these sarcophagi, you called them blade singers.
So blade singers are elven wizards who the way they cast their spells is through basically what they call a dance of swords. They use swords to perform magical motions and feats that then cast their spells. So imagine, if you will, like almost like a whirling dervish. Like, so you would use certain actions and possibly components to cast a spell. Well, a blade singer wouldn't do that. They would run through a series of motions with blades that would then cast a spell. So say he wanted to cast a fireball, he might spin 3 times in a circle, move the sword in an up and down crossing section, and thrust forward. And from the tip of the sword, the blades go. It's a very
And say
specialized
Hadouken.
school of magic. Yeah, exactly.
All right, so I'm thinking about this damn Jewel of the Nile, whatever we're getting. So I'm just kind of like, all I care about is that. So
The rumbling's getting louder with each second that passes.
So we're about to
do
fight something
okay.
very large.
All right,
Totally
do we
prepare.
should we just go ahead and like get ready to fight, guys? Should we?
How far away is the light that's coming at us?
It's about the size of a quarter now,
Okay, so very
like
far.
in your vision across the way.
Hmm. Do we
You
want
know
to?
what? No, I mean I'm tempted to do a. But how far is it again?
Um,
Close
so
to 50
from where you
yards.
guys is about 50 yards, because the sarcophagi were halfway through the
So that's further than 120
I
feet.
set
So
out sacred flame to light things up.
nice.
Headed our way.
So you send a sacred flame down there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, hold on 1 second for me.
Can I also sing Eternal Flame when I do it?
You most certainly
Nice.
can.
Close your eyes.
Give me your hand.
Darling. Oh, it's Jurassic
Um,
Park.
As your sacred flame shoots down into the hallway, you hear that blood curdling growl as what can only be described as a zombie Tyrannosaurus Rex
Oh, shit.
ambles its way out of this hallway with a giant glowing stone set into its chest.
I think that's the Jewel of the Nile, the heart of the thing. All right,
Jewel,
we got
the,
this motherfucker.
the Jewel of the Nile is just Joan. That's
Is just what?
just Joan.
Okay,
I haven't seen Jewel of the Nile a long time, so you know that.
I understand that. Okay.
Okay, so now we have to roll initiative as this T-Rex comes just slamming out the door. So on your character sheet, there is
17.
Where is
yeah,
it?
you see where it says initiative next to your armor class.
19.
Oh,
19.
Where is it?
18.
oh, I see it now.
Oh, yeah.
I got a
What?
19, maybe.
How did I get the lowest? You guys all suck.
18.
You guys are all jerks. I don't want to even fight anymore.
I'll move.
Now,
We're
actually-
holding back during the elements,
Oh.
dude.
Okay, so hold on, because this is where I gotta start keeping track of shit. Okay, so who had I heard okay, so I'm gonna start just counting down from 20. So 20, 19.
Me.
You two both got 19.
Yep.
Okay. Who has the higher dexterity score?
Shit.
I'm a 13.
12.
Okay, so it's gonna go Andrew, and then Kim, and then we're at 18. So that's Kevin. Oh, you
Nope.
both got 18.
Her. I got 17.
Okay. So then it'll go Jen, and then Kevin, and then finally our zombie T-Rex. will go last.
I shall call him Bubba.
All right. So Andrew, you get to lead off combat.
All right. So how do I? This is my first time doing any of this.
Okay,
Shit.
so
you do a magic missile.
you can do a magic missile now. So magic missile, is like a super favorite spell of everyone, or of like in Dungeons and Dragons, because even though it's low damage, it only does a D4 of damage. It guarantees to hit. You don't have to roll any sort of an attack to hit with it.
Okay.
So and plus, magic missile also scales as it goes. So what that happens is, so like say you cast magic missile at level 1, like the level that it is, it's 1d4 plus 1. Well, if you cast a magic missile at level 2, it becomes 1d4 plus 2. Because you get, well, no, it's
You know what? I'm looking now and I see Witch Bolt, and that seems to do more damage. I think.
Yes. Now, Witch Bolt is a fun spell, because what that'll do is you roll to attack with Witch Bolt, and if you connect with it, it does that at, like, say you cast it at second level, it'll do 2d12 versus damage, and then it remains active for 1 minute, which is 10 combat rounds. So each round where we go through this, as we do combat, it represents about 6 seconds in real life.
Okay.
So 10 turns is 1 minute.
Okay.
So you can have this going for 10 turns, and it's a concentration spell. So what'll happen is you could technically cast other spells while you're going, but if, like, say the T-Rex lashes out and hits you, you have to roll a constitution check versus the T-Rex's attack to maintain your concentration on the spell, or the spell just drops. But in theory, you could roll 2d12 damage for the next 10 rounds and still be casting other spells. That's why Witch Bolt's a really powerful spell, because you can, like say you're level 7, you're now rolling 7d12 each round.
It says
damage.
+7, so I'm gonna do it. So I'm leading off. Let's fuck this motherfucker up. It has our booty, so let's get it. So
Okay, so hit that +7.
Okay, so it just says 11. I don't know if that's good or not.
This crackling purple bolt of energy lances forth from your hands, and now you're going to hit that 2d12 on there and tell me what it rolls.
It says 3.
Okay, so it hits and does 3 points of damage.
That's less than a fucking magic missile, right?
Possibly, but
wait, it's gonna keep going though, right? So that's
exactly. So like next turn, you start the turn as long as you haven't been attacked, and lose concentration, and you get to roll that 2d12, plus you could cast Burning Hands, Magic Missile,
Magic Mike XXL.
Exactly. Thunderclap, Mind Sliver.
Yeah, give him the clap. Wait, what?
Thunderclap.
Sounds painful.
It's a twerking spell. All right. So next up in our order is Vivalina.
Am I close enough to inflict wounds?
I believe you are close enough. Yeah, let me check the range on inflict wounds, but touch. No, you do. You are fast enough that you could cross to the T-Rex and touch it.
Okay. I shall inflict wounds.
That is gangster as fuck right there.
15.
15. That's a hit.
Nice.
My damage. What's your damage, Bubba? Is also 15.
That stuck too.
All right. All right. So now it is Jen's turn.
Lazura's turn.
So can I command it?
Command. Okay. So if you so now if you click on the word command for that spell, it will bring up the spell's description on the side, and it says you speak a one-word command to a creature you can see within range. Range is 60 feet, so you're covered there. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or follow the command on its next turn. The spell has no effect if the target is undead. So in this case, no, you can't do anything because a zombie is an undead creature, so command would not work.
Okay. Can I inflict wounds again?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
that's definitely inflict wounds is a spell that you could definitely do, but again, you will have to cross and attack this guy by touching it there. So just click that +6 because you're close enough that you guys can cross to meet him.
26.
Nice.
26. So did you roll a 20?
I hit the 6 and it said 26. Yeah, I rolled 20 because it had the +6.
Okay. So that's a crit.
Hit the shit out of that motherfucker.
Crits are special. When you roll a 20, a natural 20 or a crit, you get double your dice damage. So you get to roll that 4d10 twice.
Oh.
And
okay.
add it together and
4d10. 6d10 you mean?
What level are you casting it at?
Am I looking at that little box? Wait a minute.
Yeah, because it inflict wounds on a second level, which you have 3 spell slots. So you could cast this 3 times.
Well, I don't know. It just says 6d10.
Oh,
you're on the
second
level. Am I supposed to be on the second?
See. No. Okay, I see. So it says +6, and then next to it, it says 3d10. So if you hit the 3d10 button, that'll give you your damage. If you want to cast it at... Oh, wait a second. Hold on.
It still says 6d10 for me, but...
All right, yeah. If that's what it's saying on your sheet, fuck it. Hit the damage dice and roll with it, and see what it gives us. And don't forget, you get to roll it twice because you critted.
So hit it right up.
Shit,
I got a 41 on the first roll. So roll it again.
Yep.
Bubba's going down.
Mm-hmm.
Suck it, Bubba.
20. So 41 and 28.
So that's 69.
69, dude.
So you reach out and touch this thing, and it just shrieks in horror as the rotting flesh starts to fall off of it in massive chunks. But it is still up and going, and it is now Mofac's turn.
I'm gonna hit this son of a bitch with my Corpse Slayer crossbow because it is undead.
Yes, which means
So
you should get like an extra d6.
I get a +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls made. And when I hit an undead creature with an attack using this weapon, the attack deals an extra 1d8 of damage.
Someone knows their D&D.
I know how to read. So I don't. I moused over the weapon. That's all I can tell you. So first I got to roll, right? And I get a +1 to this on top of that, right?
Yeah, well, it'll automatically if you hit the...
Does it know I'm attacking an undead?
Hold on, the Corpse Slayer crossbow... No, so you get the +1 bonus no matter what. You add the extra 1d8 because it's a corpse.
Okay.
So the +5 gives you the +1 bonus plus your +4 dexterity bonus to hit.
Gotcha. All right. Well, that's a bullshit roll. 14 hits, though.
You will
14 will hit.
69.
Yeah. All right. Now I get this and then another 1d8, right?
Yep.
0. Eat my ass. Oh, wait, that's 10. Never mind. That's awesome.
That is a different spell.
Yeah, I was like, what?
So 13, and then I get a d8, right? Add a d8 in here.
Vivalina casts Analingus at a second level.
Vivalina cast that at a much
What would I
higher
do?
level.
17 there?
17.
Yeah, total.
Beautiful. He's looking again worse for wear as this crossbow bolt rips through him. But he now he swings his tail at Vivalina and misses just horribly. And then he rears back his head and goes to bite um, our our friend Lazura and completely misses her as well. And we are back at the top of the order with our good friend
No.
Bubba's a
Belkin.
little
So
bitch.
is my
Come
witch
on,
bolt
Bubba.
still going then?
It is. So you can now roll 2d12.
All right. So
Like automatically, you just get to roll that 2d12.
and then can I roll something else after that too?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, that's the thing. You can actually cast another spell.
I'm going to. All right. So my 2d12 is 18, or that's what I get for witch bolt.
Okay.
And then I'm going to try burning hands. So it says 4d6. So
I believe though there is an attack roll for burning hands. Yeah.
I see a dex 15 next to it.
Yeah, so he doesn't save. So what that dex 15 is, that's if you look up above at the spell, see where it says +5 modifier, +7 spell
Yes.
attack, 15. Okay. So that save DC is the difficulty challenge that, so if I wanted to save and only do half damage on that, I have to roll higher than 15 or higher because of your kind of sorcerer level. He did not. So your burning hands hits and you get to roll damage.
Awesome. So you just did it. Okay. So so I click. I mean, I'll click 4d6, and I get not bad 13.
All right. So the flames shoot forth from your fingers, and you all not enough to make a Constitution check, but you all start to feel just a little nauseous as the smell of burning rotted Tyrannosaurus flesh fills the room as this beast is just staggering, clearly on its last legs. So then in our order, we have Vivalina.
I just did a constitution check. Maybe I was.
You didn't have to. I was just saying it's not, the smell isn't so bad that I was going to make you guys roll a Constitution check or throw up.
Keep it down, buddy.
I would like to offer an unarmed strike, and I would like to kick him within the neck, his T-Rex neck.
It is T-Rex zombie.
You know the
nuts.
motherfucker's like 20 feet tall, right?
Yes.
And you're like 5 feet tall.
I thought I was. I'm
2.5.
Six and a half feet tall. Even at 6.5 feet tall, legitimately, you can still kind of only kick him in his Tyrannosaurus shin.
I do that. I kick his shin, but I claim that is his neck.
All right, roll an unarmed strike attack.
Unarmed strike attack. Where is that?
So if you go under actions and you go right down there, yeah, it.
Oh, the thing that I just said I wanted to?
Yeah.
That would be 23.
Whoa. You're
Yes.
strong.
That would be whoa. Damage.
So you rear back your leg and kick this giant Tyrannosaurus zombie in his shin, and the flaming skeleton seems to freeze momentarily before collapsing into a pile of flaming bones on the ground that burns for just a moment, and then the flames go out, and in the center of this pile of bones is this stone is lying in the pile, and that is clearly the heart of the tyrant, which you are able to retrieve and bring back to Marvin at your will, as you have completed your quest. And
Did
that's
you
it.
like how I kicked him in the neck?
Well, it was the shin.
The neck?
So, so that was awesome because your last strike dropped him down to 1 hit point left. And so Kim, you kicked him.
Aussie Mers, man.
That's why it was
Oh.
hilarious to me that you decided to punch him. Like I love that you decided to punch a burning zombie Tyrannosaurus. And it still wound up killing it somehow. Of all the things you could do, and it worked. And that is, to me, one of those super fun things about Dungeons and Dragons. And so, yeah, that is a taste of Dungeons and Dragons and what it's like to play.
Thank you.
Oh, but we got like our golden shit, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And add
Wait,
add that shit in when you get a chance, man.
You walk you leave the chambers and you walk out, and Marvin gladly accepts the stone and gives you all your golden sacks with the other 15 gold coins apiece, because you each got half because of Vivalina and Dalkin's boobs. And Marvin thanks you very, very much and says he's going to keep all of your email addresses just in case he ever needs more work, because you are a very formidable troop. And the end.
Thank you so much.
So yeah, so if we backpedal, yeah, all 3 of those rooms. Kev, I know. Did you pick all 3 of them, Kevin, or just the code and then the Fifth Element one?
Code and the Fifth Element. I knew those 2. What was the last room from?
Well, no, it's the last room.
The code one?
Okay, so the code.
Oh, the jump I did. The code's the Konami code. That goes back to if you had an original Nintendo and you wanted to get, is it 100 lives or unlimited
30.
lives?
It was 30 lives in Contra. Yeah.
In Contra. So that was the code that you
What
put
is
in
Contra?
before the
Okay,
Contra.
never got that.
Yeah, it's a video game, and you just go up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, start, and that was that. And that's why, like, you had to walk the Konami code,
Konami, got it.
and then obviously the room with the stones was from the Fifth Element.
Yeah, I finally figured that out.
The first room was Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
I never actually saw that.
Okay, yeah.
A leap from the mouth of the lion will prove your worth. That's when he takes the sand and he throws it out over the bridge.
Well, that's funny because before she did the check to see if the road went all the way down, I actually had a coin in my pocket that I was going to throw the same way.
Yeah. So yeah, that's Dungeons and Dragons, folks.
So kind of when you know what you're doing, then the whole thing kind of just flows and you're just doing it and casting your spells, huh? Not just going at a snail's pace like us.
Yes and no. Because like so what we did was called a one shot. And it's just a small adventure, designed for however many players, that's designed to be completed in like one session, which is anywhere between 2 and 5 hours.
5 hours.
Right.
5 hours.
Oh yeah, no, people like it can get rough playing for 5 hours. Like I love this, but once you get into like hour 4, you're kind of like I'm getting tired. But this 2 to 3 hours is like a nice little stretch for something like this. Campaigns, like a normal campaign, like it would be a series of adventures leading on and on to a goal. Like, it's like, so if we wanted this to be the kickoff to a campaign, maybe Marvin's standing there with his tyrant stone, And as you all, hand the stone to him, the satyr turns back and cackles at you all and is enveloped by a dark mist. And in a flash, there is a wizard standing before you, and he reaches out his hand, and you're all knocked to the ground, and he spirits away with the stone. And later you might find some information to find out that that stone was the key to some spell that the wizard is going to cast that's supposed to destroy the whole earth.
Like,
So
like in the
you,
movie, just like in
yeah,
the movie. Yeah.
exactly. So then you go on and so then you get a side quest where you have to go find the helmet of disruption to be able to unlock. Oh, that was another, like, Mordenkainen, that, like, he mentions that they make fun of. There's like, if you were to go in and look through the list of spells, there's about 5 to 6 different spells that are all Mordenkainen's this, Mordenkainen's that. There's a couple of like which, okay, yeah, so like, one of the, so you guys should be able to, if you go up to the top, so like, even above your character sheet where it says like collections, game rules, sources, because you're under my in our whatchamacallit, in our campaign, you have access to every source book that I have. And one of those is Mordenkainen presents Monsters of the Multiverse. And so Mordenkainen is this character in the Dungeons and Dragons universe, and he's written this book about all these different monsters and creatures from, in the different multiverse of Dungeons and Dragons. So he's a famous wizard. Like Simon, for instance, he talks about how he's like the offspring of Elminster. Elminster is a super famous wizard in the Dungeons and Dragons novels and things like that. It's like super powerful, like Obi-Wan-ish, if you will. So yeah, that's kind of Dungeons and Dragons in a nutshell. It's good times. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's call it a night.
All right. So for everybody at home, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Although, yeah, this might translate to a good audio still. But with that, have a great week. We'll see you next week. I have no idea what we're doing next week. Maybe I do. Andrew, you might have had a guest for us next week.
Oh shit! Yeah, Leah,
Yeah.
Ooh, Leah MC.
Canada.
Yeah. So we may broaden our horizons. So we'll see about that, and I'm sure some stuff is coming out next week. There's stuff to talk about from this week that we didn't talk about because it was all D&D this week. So it's going to be a good episode to catch up. So with that, enjoy the show, and we'll see you next week.
This is like nothing like I thought it was. I thought there was gonna be like something we were playing, like a video game.
Whoa!
I literally had no idea what this was.
Wow.
I thought there was like we were setting all this up, and then it was like populating some sort of
Like online characters.
yeah,
Also, yeah.
All in here. Just
just your brain coming up with it.
So is Venger real, or is he just from the cartoon?
Just from the cartoon, but you could create Venger. Like Venger, I would, So here's one though. Tiamat, who's always chasing Venger around. Tiamat is the goddess of evil dragons, of chromatic dragons. The good mirror to that would be Bahamut, who is the god of good metallic dragons. Venger was just a just a character. You could create someone like that. Like I would say Venger would be like Venger might be a sorcerer or
It
possibly
says here he's a sorcerer.
yeah. He'd be a sorcerer and just his look is kind of what it is. Yeah, but like I've got like I'm looking at like a stat block right now for Doric or let's see. Edgin, yeah, so they're calling him a bard.
Yeah.
Safina's oh wow, Safina they counted her as neutral evil. Zank lawful good as predicted on that one.
Yeah.
CG chaotic good for Edgin. Doric, what was the other one we were questioning? Neutral good, yeah, interesting.